welcome back. We are talking 101 critical days of safety. That time period between Memorial Day and Labor Day. And this is when the greatest majority of accidents happen. And what we are going to do is we're going to talk about it. We're going to be safe. And we're just going to focus on doing the right things the right way. So, as I've always said, if it sounds fun, there's probably a safety issue involved. So we are going to pick up with this series, and we are going to start with fire safety, but also go and talk about driver safety. So let's get to that. So firearm safety. A lot of folks in life are killed by empty guns. Okay, just kidding. Firearm safety, absolutely critical. Great activity to be involved in, right? Use of firearms, going out and target shooting, right? That there is definitely a need. Hunters, things like that. But there's an element of risk involved. So, all guns are loaded. All guns are loaded. And handle them that way, which means you don't point them at anybody that you do not intend to shoot or anything that you do not intend to shoot. When you hand it off to somebody, make sure you are clearing it to make sure it's clear. They need to check it to make sure it's clear. Right? I have watched armorers in the Air Force shoot themselves while they're cleaning a weapon and the gun is supposed to be empty. I've seen it, right? So everyone says, but the gun is empty, right? There are people, the gun falls, somebody gets shot. There's cases out there. You can do your own research, okay? Alcohol and drugs and firearms don't mix, right? Alcohol keeps coming up over and over. Drugs keeps coming up over and over. There's a reason why. It impairs your ability to do what you're supposed to do safely. Your firearm, make sure that you know it. Take classes, read the owner's manual. Once again, everyone is a safety officer. There are some wonderful clips out there from the movie Pacific, for example, of an officer who does not treat his firearm properly and gets schooled by the range officer, who is an NCO. Right? Everybody should do this, right? Everybody should be able to say, hey, point it down range, okay? And intervene, right? Somebody can get hurt if you do not take charge. Okay? If you're out on the range, you're going to hear this from our range officers. They are in charge. You need to do what they tell you to do, when they tell you to do it, how they tell you to do it. And always keep your weapon pointed down range. Do not put your finger on the trigger unless you intend to shoot and you have already your sights on the target. Hearing and eye protection, absolutely important. My hearing is diminished because of my time in the Air Force being a range officer and working around jet aircraft. Hard surfaces, and water is a hard surface. You know, if you've ever done a belly flop, you know it's hard, okay? That the bullet will go in places that you didn't expect it to go, okay? So, on and off the range, follow all these procedures. Talk about driving. We do a lot of driving. I am about to launch on a road trip that'll be about 3,700 miles, okay? And there are a lot of people out there, not necessarily following the safety rules that we expect you to follow. And as a result, accidents happen. Okay? Driving safety, your primary focus. You have a vehicle that has a lot of weight to it and inertia that moves it forward and makes it dangerous, right? And it's important that you control that with the proper speed. Make sure that you're controlling for distractions, because when you don't, things happen, right? People will cut you off. They don't signal. Rhode Island, you guys don't know how to use road signals, okay? But make sure that you are doing this. Again, they mentioned don't drink and drive, right? Alcohol, primary factor in a lot of these mishaps that the Air Force had. So last year, over 36,000 people died in motor vehicle accidents. That's a lot of people, okay? So things that you should be doing, right? First of all, if you are in a CAP vehicle, everyone in the CAP vehicle should be looking for hazards. Okay, they should be focused on ensuring that the driver is able to do what the driver is supposed to be doing. So if you are in the back of the vehicle and you're horse playing with somebody else, you are causing the driver to split their attention because they're also focused on you. Okay. So, sounds like fun, probably a safety issue. In terms of driving, slow down. Every hazard, slow down more. So, dark, wet roads, icy roads, right? These are reasons that you should be slowing down. Hazards on roads, the roads change, number of potholes, things like that. Keeping distance. Make sure that you have enough stopping distance, because traffic patterns will change, and very often abruptly. Drink and drive. Don't drink and drive. Okay. Once again, alcohol, drugs, impairment, that's a factor. And wear a seatbelt. And if you're in a CAP vehicle, you will back with a spotter, right? Unless you absolutely do not have one. But if there's another person that can help you back up, put them to use. Don't drink and drive. Okay? Don't drink and drive. I will include this slide deck, make this available to you. You can go back and read the details. Don't drink and drive. Always wear your seatbelt. So, drowsy driving. This is dangerous. Um, in my life, I'm going to be honest. There was times where I was sleepy and I should not have been driving. I've gotten smarter. I take breaks now. I take naps. Right? I'm a fan of naps. Uh, this will hurt you. And one of the issues is, we're almost home. We're close. We can get there. Take a break. Right? Don't drive through the night. Don't try to go past your capabilities. CAP has a strict requirement of how much time that you should be in your duty day. And it's important that you follow this, right? So making sure that, you are not going to be sleep deprived when you do this. So you're not sure what the signs are? If you don't remember how you got to the place you are, probably drowsy driving, right? You kind of drift into a rumble strip or you're in another lane, probably drowsy driving. Yawning, difficult to focus, eyes, you're tailgating, trouble keeping your head up, you're drowsy driving. You are a danger. So pull over, right? Take a nap, okay? Cell phones, you don't need them, right? Focus on the driving. You don't need to be looking at your cell phone, okay? Same thing, as I mentioned before, you got folks in the back of your van, they should not be taking your attention away, right? So control it as the driver, control it. But if you're another CAP member in that vehicle, control it also. Everyone is a safety officer. UTV or ATVs, UTV safety. Okay. A lot of fun. A lot of fun. Which means there's probably a safety issue involved. Okay. Make sure you know how to use the vehicle. Make sure that you wear the gear. Once again, stay off the drugs and alcohol. Okay. It's for off road, so stay off road. Stay off the hard pavements. Okay. Um, Make sure that you have other folks with you. Okay. Make sure, once again, they know where you're going so they can go look for you if you don't come back in time. Because if you have an accident and you get pinned under one of these things, who knows when somebody's going to find you if you're out in the bush. My brother, he's now paralyzed from the waist down, but he rolled his Jeep and was pinned on a back road in Pennsylvania. It was more than an hour with a Jeep laying on top of him before someone found him. And then even longer before he got help to arrive. So, one of those accidents, but, if somebody knew when he was going to be back, he may have gotten help sooner. E-bikes. Okay? This is becoming more and more of a problem that, these e-scooters, e-bikes, they're causing more accidents. Okay? So, yeah, spending a little more time understanding how they work. But once again, if it sounds like fun, there's probably a safety issue involved. Okay, the Air Force lost a couple folks because of motorcycle safety. Riding a motorcycle is one thing, but if you are in a passenger vehicle, you need to keep an eye out for motorcyclists. Right? They are harder to see before you pull into another lane. Make sure, in fact, it is clear. Make sure your situational awareness is you are looking for all those hazards. Motorcyclists, they definitely have to make sure, the hazards around them, and they give people a lot of space. But, um, just be aware, if you don't drive a motorcycle, that that it's important that you're aware of motorcyclists around you. Okay. Um, all the stuff, right? Make sure that you are wearing proper headgear. Make sure that, you're wearing your leathers, right? When you have to lay down a motorcycle and your skin is the first thing that's protecting you and you're sliding down the road, you're going to wish you had an extra pair of skin on top of it. Okay. Uh, Ride defensively, right? Ride thinking that other people are out to harm you because they don't see you. And, to make sure you're out of their blind spots. That's another thing I see even with cars. Stay out of people's blind spots. If you're sitting there in the back, driver's side back quarter panel, people can't see you. Either pass or back up a little bit so they can in fact see you. Okay. All right. Pedestrian safety. Right? If you're out walking, right? So Be seen. When you get to a crosswalk, do not assume that people will stop. When I have my dog with me, my backpack, I make sure the road is really clear before I start crossing it. Folks want to stop for me, and I do not trust what's going on. So I make sure that I have control of the road. Okay. Avoid distractions. Right? If you have your head buried in your telephone, folks have fallen down manholes because they were too busy on their cell phone. Okay. They've walked into telephone poles. They've walked into other people. Be visible. Use all your senses when you're, especially around motor vehicles. Okay. Do not assume a driver sees you. I have, from where I live in the last 5 years, I've almost been hit 3 times because one, the driver didn't pay attention to the stop sign, figured they could just roll through the stop sign. We're not expecting to see a person walking. And in one case, my dog and I almost got hit. So make sure you make eye contact. Okay. Stay on the sidewalks, which means in the winter, please shovel your sidewalks. All right. We are going to move on to the next section. So, thanks for sticking with me so far. Lots of safety all around you. You probably didn't think there was those many things to think about safety. Okay, we will be right back, and we are going to work on this last section, and then I will get another section specifically for CAP, things that General A wants us to talk about, and so we'll do that. So, be right back.